morning, it's Barbara. I am going outside. It looks like a beautiful day. We'll see how it feels. It's pretty warm. I'm back. This is one thing I brought back. This is the picture that was over my parents' fireplace at the farm and behind their couch at their assisted living. This is a view from the top of the hill behind my parents' house. And this is a view of the vineyards. My dad had a winery for a couple decades and he grew his own grapes. And they had a friend who was an artist. And this is a picture that she did of the winery. I don't know. From the angle and everything, I would think those buildings are actually the neighbors up the hill by the road, but I don't know. Could be that was her depiction of the winery and the house. Just seems like the angle's wrong, but what do I know? Anyway, Manya Manor is the artist, and this is the farm that I just sold to my brother. Oh my goodness, I actually got a flower on this one. I'm getting flowers on this little white verbena. How fun. The flowers are looking a little scraggly. They got heavy rained on. But I am going to have to water some of them today. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Just to be clear, I sold my 1/3 share of the farm to my brother who inherited 1/3 too. My coffee mug. Ooh, Dennis has the kneeler. I think he's going to go do something with the tomatoes. I was wondering how our tomatoes look. Do we have any tomatoes? Uh-oh. So he's going to go weed and see if he can find any tomatoes. But our peppers are doing great. We have jalapenos coming. Lots and lots of jalapenos. And I have one red bell pepper that's still green in the pot down there. So the pepper garden is doing fine. We'll see how the tomatoes are. They're not in my normal routine of walking, so I'm not sure. But I will be doing some watering today because it was a nice warm clear day yesterday, and I'm not, so, and raining on pots doesn't necessarily do the trick. I'm gonna use my little stick that I've had forever just to moisturize my lips a little bit. It does have some color, nothing crazy. I do have planned to go out and about a little bit today. Because of our horrible squeak and our red car, which is our people car, I had to take the dog car with to State College yesterday. It was perfectly comfortable. It drove great. Everything was fine, except it is so filthy and gross looking that it was embarrassing. It sits in the northeast, in front of the garage, in the northeast part of the house. And it doesn't get a lot of sun. It actually has moss growing on it. I'm taking it to the car wash today because we will be driving it more than just to the park with the dogs. So that's just too embarrassing. It was embarrassing. Jason's going to take a look at the headlight on Saturday, so maybe he'll be able to fix it for us and we won't have to take that car in for a shop. I mean, you got to have some benefit of having a son who's an auto mechanic, right? I mean, yeah. But I'm taking it to the car wash today. So that's my plan. And I used up all this gas on my travels yesterday, so I'm gonna fill up the car and go to the car wash. There you go. That's my exciting day. But it is pretty lovely out here. and it's got a little bit of a breeze, so I may be spending time on my deck, and I haven't done that in quite a few days, to be honest with you, between the rain and the humidity and the brutal heat. But it's about 11:30 now, and so I mean, it'll get a little warmer, I suppose, but not too bad. So yesterday I had an excellent trip. I had a lovely visit with my brothers and their wives. The lawyer took, 15 minutes just to sign some paperwork. And then we wandered down to a outdoor cafe pub thing and had some lunch and sat and talked and visited, which, we just don't do often enough. I had stopped to do some banking in State College. I still have that account. That was my dad's. And it needed some attention. And I stopped at the State store and bought a bottle of champagne and took it up to the farm to give it to my brother so that he and John and Jenny could celebrate their new farm ownership, I mean, they've lived there almost 6 years. But now they own it and they can do all the wild and crazy things. My brother John is one of those guys. He's a, idea guy. He's always got a cunning plan, He's got always, all these things. And he has been hampered in the past 5.5 years because he doesn't own the farm. And so he wanted to do all these things, but it wasn't his, So I will be curious to see when he's not constrained by the fact of ownership, non-ownership, what happens, see what kind of shenanigans he gets up to. So that'll be fun to watch. Meanwhile, I got that picture, which I had wanted from my parents, and picked up some stuff for the kids. Yeah, it's so funny. My dad bought a pocket watch when Jason was born. He was so excited. Jason was the first grandchild on both sides. And, Mom, at he and Allison's wedding, Mom confided in me, his father's mother, that Jason was, her favorite. Which, she has like 6 or 8 grandchildren, so, but he was the first. So anyway, when Jason was born, Daddy went out and bought a gold pocket watch. And he had it engraved with his name and his birthday and Jason's name and Jason's birthday, with the idea that this was going to Jason. But he never gave it to him. Jason's 48 years old. He'll be 48 this year. He never gave it to him. That's something, anyway, it's not like he used it all the time. He did use it for a while. But, I don't know why he didn't give it to him. But anyway, I have it now. I'm going to give it to him on Saturday. But you would have thought that would have been something my father would have done. But he didn't. I don't know why. But I'll do it on Saturday. So we're going there for a barbecue. So tomorrow is our anniversary, and it's the 4th of July. So Dennis had made that sauce. I talked about the recipe the other day, where you take, 2 liters of liquid and a bunch of vegetables and stuff, and you end up with 1/3 of a cup of sauce. It's very, very intense sauce, and it's amazing, but very intense. So you take like a liter of beef stock that you've made, and then a bottle of red wine, and boil it all down eventually in stages. So anyway, we have this amazing sauce and so Dennis has been sous videing some short ribs for us to have with our sauce. This sauce cleared out the freezer, though, because he got a giant bag of bones out. He started this whole process with a bag of beef bones that he roasted and then turned into amazing stock, and then So the freezer has a lot more room than it had before. Plus, then the short ribs came out too. So they've been cooking for 2 days, but we're going to wait and eat them tomorrow because it's our anniversary and it's a pretty special meal. So Aura's doctor's appointment yesterday was actually more optimistic than I expected. She has a problem with her foot, but the doctor said it was stable and was feeling, you know, he left Dennis he left Dennis and Kim feeling much more optimistic than they had been about her foot. So that was good news. And anyway, so I went and came back. I wasn't sure how the day would go. I didn't have a headlight, so if I was there late, then I might stay over. Anyway, I took a go bag and I took my knitting. Now, I did not knit, but I took my knitting. And I thought that was good. Just in case, you know, if I'm there for longer than I expected, then I would have it, just in case. So I did that. Anyway, that was the whole day. I didn't get home. I left here at 9, and I didn't get home till 7 o'clock, a little after 7. I hit some terrible traffic. A traffic jam. It's one of those things where you see a sign on the road, you know, Route 81, accident on Route 81 by exit 69, you know, expect delays. And I'm like, okay, I'm gotta go on, normally would go on 81. But I have no idea where exit 69 is. You know, sometimes you see that and it's way past where you care about, and this time it was not, because I couldn't even get on to 81. It was already backed up, which I thought was a blessing for me, not for those guys, because there was no way I was getting in that line. Forget it. So I just went straight into the city. This is at Harrisburg. And so I was driving in Harrisburg, which I do not do very often, let me tell you. But I did pretty good, you know. I had a general idea where I wanted to go. I didn't have my nav system, which is in the car that squeaks. And I did really well. But it took longer for me to get home than normal because I was going through the neighborhoods of Harrisburg. But I didn't have to backtrack. I thought I knew exactly where I was, and it turned out I was correct. I wasn't always sure the whole time. At one point, I was at a very long light, and I pulled out my phone to get Google Maps up. But by the time I had gone another 2 blocks, I could see this is exactly where I want to be. So anyway, so I hit some traffic, but otherwise the weather was great, and the drive was uneventful. And yeah, and I hit Harrisburg at 5:30 in the afternoon, which Harrisburg's the capital of Pennsylvania, for those who are not in the geographic know. So there were things going on there, but it was fine, and but I didn't end up with too much gas. It was hilarious because when I got in the car and leaving here, the car said the range, how much gas I had, would take me 240 miles. By the time I got to Harrisburg, which is 60 miles, at least a little more than 65 miles from my house, my range was 340. That highway driving really is different than driving around back and forth to the park, let me tell you. So anyway, it's 160, 170 miles to where I was going, and so 340 miles round trip. But I got home with 75 miles left. Yay! So I need to fill up the car. So I'm going to do that and wash it today. And that's the only thing I have sort of planned. I have in the back of my mind, I might stop at the fish store and see if I can get soft shell crabs, which are a little bit in season at the moment. It's not, soft shell crabs aren't something you can get year round. You know, it's like a natural phenomenon, and they just do it, I guess, in the summer as they're growing. They have to get rid of their hard shell and then grow a new one. So I really like soft shell crabs, and I might as well eat them while they are in season. That's what I say. And I will be, you know, relatively close to the fish store when I'm done washing the car. So I might do that. That's my only plan. And I think I'm going to sit on my deck for a while because it's kind of nice out here. Whoop. Dennis is done. Hold on. Dennis is done weeding the tomatoes. We don't have a big tomato patch. And apparently we have one tomato and lots of flowers. So maybe we'll get tomatoes. We're definitely getting jalapenos. There's no two ways about that. Those little tiny plants are doing great. Meanwhile, I guess that's it for me. As I said, it was a really lovely visit with my brothers. I just don't do that often enough. And well, now that Tim's retired, maybe we'll be doing more kinds of things. So, and Tim is in between me and John. So it's a easy ride for each of us. Easy-ish, hour, 15 minutes. Around here, that's an easy ride. So maybe we'll convince him to host a potluck now and then so we get to spend some time together. That'd be nice, since we're all retired now. But it was lovely. It was really lovely. And it is nice, you know, got one little glitch that needs to be straightened out, but other than that, it's all done. And that's a relief. So that's the plan. Next, I gotta get in touch with Peter, my lawyer here, and get going on finalizing the distribution of the rest of Mama's estate. Everything that's left now goes to the grandchildren, so I need to get that to them and be done. So that's what's going on here. Kim is going to go have happy hour with Aura today, so we'll probably not see her, but we'll go tomorrow, wish her a happy anniversary for us and a happy 4th of July. And yeah, my hairdresser's going to a wedding tomorrow. I said, oh, the 4th of July, good day to get married. That's what we did. Unless you really, really, really want to go out fancy for dinner on your anniversary. It's not good for that. Unless you're in Vegas. Meanwhile, I'm going to go. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please. Stay safe and stay sane.